All right, we're recording. Happy Monday. Today, guys, we are just going to Zoom, no pun intended. We're just going to Zoom through. Oh my gosh, Frankie's so happy that I gave him Sammy. He's like licking me now. Yes, you are so happy. I know. I love you too. Okay, I got to work. Get out of here. So we're going to Zoom through this call tonight because it's really kind of hands-on. I want you to really look at how you're planning ahead. We've been talking about inviting, and tonight my original topic was like inviting made simple or something like that. And then when I went to sit down and I was like, let me really research this and let me see how it's any different than what we've already been taught and told, I was like, yeah, not really. There's not much else different about all of this. So I was like, I don't want to just sit here for 30 minutes and reiterate things that you already know. Things like this. Inviting. This is what I started writing this morning. You have to do it every day. Like, totally raise your hand if you've never heard that before. You need to get out of your own way when you're inviting. We've all heard that, right? You can use Facebook events, social media posts, but personal messages are the bread and butter of the invitation process. Again, that's not information that's brand new. So I was like, what am I going to give them tonight that's brand stinking new? And I'm like, well, the reality is how my invites are crafted, and I kind of was talking about this on the Team Cup page the other day, or maybe it was in our Zoom or something, but how my invites are crafted are not always the same every week. So I don't find myself like every day I'm inviting to a challenge group, join my challenge group, join my challenge group, join my challenge group. This month is a little different because we're really all trying to work hard together to just achieve big numbers that maybe we haven't yet this year. I'm going to punch my dog on Zoom if you guys he keeps pulling on my jacket. Stop it! Get out of here, man! You're killing me. So never a dull moment with this stupid dog. Anyway, so every day and actually every week looks a little bit different for me. You guys can see him jumping, can't you? Frankie, he hates when I wear jackets. Here, take the jacket and get out of here. I'm so sorry, you guys. So every week, it kind of goes based off of my calendar. And so I wanted to kind of get you guys inside my head. Now, your calendar doesn't have to look the same as my calendar, absolutely. But this is kind of my guideline. And if you look at any successful coach, you will see that their weeks are segmented similarly, maybe jumbled in a little different order, but this is what works for me. I love to get my challenge groups up and running maybe the first Monday of the month. Sometimes it ends up becoming the second Monday, depending on how the month lays out. For example, in September, and I'm going to walk you guys through my calendar. So in September, I'm starting a group on the 4th. Now, that's my week 0. So that's planning and prep. So if I don't get enough people in the group on the 4th, I can continue to invite and work through the rest of that week up until we have a start date on the 11th. So actually, they don't have to be a part of the group and get their challenge pack until really the 10th is like the final cutoff for that. Okay, but if you look over at October, like I look forward into October 2nd is the first Monday of the month. I'm not going to start a challenge group on October 2nd. That doesn't give me much time, and I'm going to tell you in a second why I do this. It doesn't give me enough time. So I'm going to probably in October be starting on the 9th. Now I'm going to stop there and I'm going to come back to September. So the reason I usually do the first Monday or the maybe the second Monday if the first one is right at the start of the month is because I want to hit Success Club at the beginning of the month and not have to worry and stress about it for the rest of the month, right? That is, for me, I hate being down to the wire because it's a non-negotiable at this point in my business. So I hate being down to the wire, and I've been there, trust me, where I'm like, I just, I feel like I'm just like reaching out to people, like just begging for somebody to join so that I can hit my points. And that's not what it's about. So I like to have it at the beginning of the month so I get that out of the way. So in September, the 4th, so that first Monday, the 4th is when my Present Over Perfect, and I've already picked a name for it, Present Over Perfect group begins, okay? Then, the other thing that I need in my month, number 2, I want a free group at some point in my month. So I always want to know when my next challenge group is starting, and I always want to know when my next free group is going. My free groups might be 5 days, they might be 7, no more than that. In September, I decided that the best time to run a free group would be September 25th, that final week. And I did that based on, because I could either do it the 18th, that would be a great time to do it. But when I looked, because of that beginning of October being so tight to the very first of the month, that first Monday, right? I usually like a week buffer between my free group and my next challenge group starting. So if I had done my free group on the 18th, that would have given me 2 weeks buffer before my next group. So that's why it's a little bit later maybe in the month than I normally would do. Usually what I do is I do the free group that week before, and then I will turn around and do a coach op the final week of the month, right? And that's when I can invite challengers that have been in my group that might be interested in Inspire Beauty, and I can run a coach opportunity event. Usually I do it free group, then coach op. But that brings me to my third thing that I have every month as a non-negotiable is some sort of coach opportunity event. Now, these can take on different forms. You've probably, if you've been on our team for a while, seen them all. You could do a live on Facebook where you tell people about it, and then you bring them on, okay? You could do an event page like what we've done before, and then post like for an hour, post all of the different things about being a coach. You could make it a free group and do it for 3 to 5 days where you're going on live in the page and just kind of unfolding everything that coaching is all about, right? So that's another option. There are endless options for coach op events, but again, you can do them as quick as just like a private call, like a Zoom kind of thing. For 30 minutes. You could do it extended for like an hour on Facebook Live. You could do it where you don't even have to talk and you just post in an event or a challenge group, things like that. Those are all great ideas for that. So that's the third thing in my month that is a non-negotiable. Those are the 3 things that I would be inviting to, okay? Be inviting to a challenge group, be inviting to a coach opportunity event at some point, and I will be inviting to a free group at some point. So my invites ebb and flow based around that, okay? The other thing that I want to mention when I'm putting my calendar down, pencil and paper, is I will look at my personal workout calendar too. One of my favorite things that I heard today, and I gotta flip to it because I don't want to butcher it. Inviting is the lifeline of your business, okay? It is the lifeline. It's the bread and butter. It's how your business is a business. So inviting is the lifeline. But when we look at the other vital behaviors, personal development gives us that backbone for inviting. So when I look at September, I'm also going to look at what books do I want to read in September? What do I need? Maybe I'm having a hard time like getting out of my own head. Maybe I need something that's going to deal with self-love, or maybe it deals with more of a motivation. Like I've lacked motivation, so I need to read books about that. Or maybe I'm lacking a lot of expertise maybe in my own nutrition. So maybe that's something I want to explore in September. Or maybe I'm lacking expertise in just people skills. I don't know, right? So you figure out what it is that you need to work on, and that should be on your calendar. For real, guys. I can't make this up. I can't make any of this up. Frankie, please. I think he just wants to sit here. Here. Do you want to sit there? Stop being annoying. Okay. But so personal development gives us that backbone, because if we don't have there's not space for both of us, Frankie. Okay. That's good. It gives us guys, the struggle is real with this dog. Hold on. Let me push this in. Okay. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me in this adorable little creature. You realize you're ruining the Zoom, right? Okay, so back to what we were talking about. So, guys, when we're looking at the vital behaviors, personal development, it's so important, because all September long, when you're inviting to that challenge group, when you're inviting to that coach op, when you're inviting to the free group, if you don't have the backbone, you don't have the like gusto, you don't have that inner strength saying, you know what, I've heard no already, but I'm going to hear no again because I believe in this and I know I can do this with my heart of hearts. If you don't have that inner dialogue happening, you've got to get that from somewhere. And the best way is to dive into personal development. So that should also be something you put on your calendar. What are you reading this month? And then the other thing is that workouts and shakes now, so being a product of the product essentially, right? It gives us the credibility. So that's where your social media posting comes in. That's where your self-care comes in. That's where tracking your journey, sharing it for others is so important, because yes, you can invite, because that's the lifeline of your business, but you need to have the backbone to be able to do it with personal development, and you need to be credible and trustworthy. And that's where sharing your journey with your workouts and your shake are important. So the other thing that I do is I also write down what workouts I'm doing. So I'm finishing up Shift Shop on the 3rd of my second round of Shift Shop on the 3rd of September. So starting on the 4th, I'm going to do a yoga recovery week. And this is what I put in my thing. And this is perfect because that's my week 0 of my group. So September 4th to, the 10th, before the actual group begins on that next Monday, I'll do a yoga recovery week. And then starting on Monday, the 11th, I'm going to go into my 3rd round of Shift Shop, which will probably be, I think, my final round before I put that program down for a second, right? But I definitely want to do 3 full rounds of it. Okay, so that's where my head's at. And that will be perfect because that'll take me to the very end of September. And I really think that after 3 full rounds of this, I'll have a really great transformation story, both mentally, emotionally, physically, that I can share with other people throughout the fall, maybe to get them back into that routine of fitness. And it's only 3 weeks, right? And so I definitely want to get that 3rd round in. So that's where my head's at. When I'm sketching out the month and I'm planning it, that's where I'm at. Now, I want to share with you how I put all this together, okay? So first of all, let's look at August. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see that? Is it good? Cool, thank you. So August, this is the calendar that I shared on our team page. You can kind of see how that is also unfolded. Now I ran 2 groups, or I'm currently running 2 groups this month. The Summer of Me group started on that first, like I said, always the first Monday of the month, unless that first Monday is like too close, like this one, there wasn't even, it was the 31st of July. So it worked out. So the first Monday was the 7th. That was perfect. And then the next week, because Shift Shop is only 3 weeks long, the next week I started my 2nd round of that Shift Shop launch party. Now, I will be honest with you guys, my 2nd round of that party is a flop right now. Rebecca's in that group with me. Hey girl. And she's crushing her shakes and sharing her workouts in there, but it's just her and I. There is 0 dialogue from anyone else in the group right now. And it's like maybe one of the worst things that's happened in a while. And so guys, just keep that in mind. That doesn't mean I'm not running my challenge group. That doesn't mean I'm not talking about the effect my challenge group has on people. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to invite to a next challenge group or start another one, right? That doesn't mean any of that stuff. That just means that the people that are in that group right now, for whatever reason, have disengaged from their own personal self-care journey. And I can only do so much to try to pull them back. At the end of the day, it's not me, it's them, right? And so, that was just a side tangent, but I just want you to know that because I run what you would call quote unquote failing challenge groups. I am currently running one right now that I want to just smack my head against the wall with. And then I've got my free group here. You can see that. And then at the end of the month, this month in August, it's flip-flopped. I've got my free group first and then my sneak peek. But those are the 3 components. Something to invite to challenge group wise, something free to invite to, and the sneak peek. Okay? So when I'm putting together a calendar, this is what I do. Now I want to, okay, screen share stopped. I want to share the screen again and I want to show you how okay, so first thing I'll show you this is I have just a template of calendars. I like these, so this is what I've been using. I'm going to make this a little smaller. And then I just screenshot the calendar so it becomes an image on here because this is a PDF right now. So I just do a little screenshot of it. And then let's stop the share for a second here. Let me move you guys out of the way. Our faces are in the way. Okay, now what I do is I go over to PicMonkey. And I just want you guys tonight, I just want you in my head a little bit of how I put this together. Yeah, I hear you, Frankie. We all hear you, trust me. So I go to PicMonkey. And when I do this, I usually do a bigger canvas rather than just a square. So let's find one. And the reason I'm encouraging you to do this, and I'm going to get to this at, here in a second after I show you just how I kind of, okay, cool, stop the script. the reason I'm showing you how to do this is because once you take ownership of a calendar, the invites become a lot easier. Becca gave amazing information last week. This is taking way too long. Why are you taking so long? Becca gave amazing information last week about how to be more vulnerable in your social media posts so that when you go to invite, it's not as icky. It's about building connection and relationships and just being able to truly be grateful for the people that are following along on your journey. We've gotten great advice from Julianne about making the invite less of a scary, like, I have to do this invite, something I have to do, instead thinking of it as something you get to do, that it's, you know, that you want to empower people and that there is an opportunity for people to come into something that you can offer them to have a better lifestyle, right? Whether it's health related or community or whatever it is for them. And then I had shared just also some easy ways to just rip off that Band-Aid and just get to inviting, because it's something that you just have to do. Guys, I'm going to stop this share because this is acting cray-cray. Okay, what I wanted to show you just now is I wanted to show you how I take this and then I then make the graphic out of it. So basically all I do, you guys, is I take the dates that I wrote on my calendar and then I make it on, and then I put that overlay on top of a blank screen there on PicMonkey, and then I add in everything. And I just make sure, and this has all my personal stuff on it too, and like what Charlie's doing throughout the month and just events and things like that. So that's this, but when I take it over there, it's literally just team stuff, right? Just business stuff for Beachbody. If you look, I like to color code things too. So like once I get done with September, I'll color code. So like the blue stuff is all business related. Anything that's pink is challenge group related. And then anything that is green is like Charlie, and then there's personal stuff in there too. So I just color code it too, so that when I look really quick at the beginning of the week, I can say, okay, I've got to make sure I'm inviting to that next week, right? Okay, so now let's talk about why this is relevant to the invitation process. So you have your calendar. You have everything sketched out. I'm going to take you into my head. So it's August. Shut your mouth, Frankie. It's August 21st. I'm in my free group, right? My next week, okay, and this wasn't on the September calendar, but next week is the coach sneak peek for Inspire Beauty. So what am I going to do this week? I'm inviting to the sneak peek. Right? And now it's August still and it's Team Cup and we're really revved up. So I've got a lot of invites going out to people about my next challenge group because I am 2 weeks away from it. So it's not too soon to be saying like, hey, on September 4th, we're doing this. So I can sprinkle a couple in there, but my main focus, guys, my focus in my posting, you're going to see a lot of my posting be geared towards the coaching opportunity and what I do as a coach, right? So all my posts this week are going to be geared in that way. And my invites will be crafted based on that. Now, get into my head for next week. I'm here at Monday the 28th. What am I going to do? Well, I'm a week out of starting my Present Over Perfect group. So what am I going to do? I'm going to invite to that. All my posts are going to be geared towards Present Over Perfect, Present Over Perfect. It's going to be overkill. People are going to be so sick of hearing me say it. But everything I'm doing in that group, that's what I'm going to pour into my posts next week, through the whole week as I gear for that. Now, that beginning week when we're doing all our prep, our planning and our prep, I usually spend about 2 weeks doing inviting to my group. So I can still invite people that first week. So that first week of September 4th through the 10th, before we actually start our official day one, I can totally be inviting people. And at that point, I'll have 2 rounds of Shift Shop done with before and afters. And so if somebody wants to do round 3 with me, they can start on the 11th with me. Right? I'll have them be in the Present Over Perfect group. I'm not going to do a separate one for Shift Shop in September, but I can also use that and harness that in through my posts, but also through my invitations too, for people who are liking those transformations. Okay? So now the Present Over Perfect group begins. I've already invited to that. I don't have a challenge group starting right away. So what do I do next? Starting on the 11th, my coach opportunity is coming up on the 17th of September is where I put that. So what am I going to do all the 11th through the 17th? Invite to the coach opportunity. The coach opportunity event ends. What do I do on the 18th? I invite to my free group, you guys. And now the free group begins. What am I doing during the free group week? Wash, rinse, repeat. I'm inviting to my challenge group for October, right? And so that's how a calendar, guys, is it's the bread and butter of not being crazy. Like, seriously, there are so many times in this business, so many months after months after months, that I probably just drove myself crazy, not knowing what the heck I was inviting to, flying by the seat of my pants, trying to just post something because I knew I should post something, but I had no idea what the heck I should post about. And now I have a guideline. Even at the top of my tracker today, you guys, what did I write? Present over perfect. Because what am I going to invite to? Present over perfect. I'm also inviting to the Coach Opportunity event this week, but that's happening. Those aren't so much cold invites. Those are more people that maybe I've been talking to for a while, and or challengers, like people that like I really want on our team, right? And so I'm gearing everything towards that, right? And if you have somebody like in, you know, when I'm inviting to present over perfect, and I'm saying, you know, and they're saying, oh, I just couldn't do it, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time. Okay, awesome. Well, I've got a free group coming up, you know, at the end of September. Can I circle back and invite you to that? And that's where having the tracker is such a great tool, because then I've got all my dates. They're already pre-labeled, the dates, guys. Everything in this entire book is pre-labeled for the dates. And so all I do is I flip to, you know, the week of the 18th in September, and I'll write their name as a follow-up so that I make sure I follow up to invite them to the free group, right? And so having the calendar, having your trackers, having all this, it just makes the invites it doesn't take the scariness away from it at all, because that's always going to be there. There are days where I still feel like, but the reality is we do have a gift. And if you're holding that gift and you're not sharing it with other people, you have no idea what someone else is thinking. You have no idea if somebody else is interested in what you're doing, right? And so we can't make that assumption at all. All we can do is offer the gift that we have to other people, right? But having a calendar totally sets me up for more success, because then I already know, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. Regardless if the group sucks or not, I still run it, I still do it, I still show up, because that just shows my character, right? That shows my integrity, that shows my willingness to do this, regardless if there are people there cheering me on or not, right? So that's all that I have for tonight. That's it. Does anybody have questions? I'll unmute you guys right now. Questions on how I do the calendar, or how I incorporate that with inviting, or anything really.
It all makes good sense to me.
Cool. And again, things will look different for you. There are a lot of coaches I know that like to do their free group that first week of the month, because then they can take that and use those people to invite to the challenge group. So if you're that type, you're like, I'd rather do my free group first, and then the next week do my challenge group, start my challenge group, by all means, knock your socks off. This is just what I particularly like to do for me. But I always, you know, my weeks, there's an ebb and a flow. It's not constant, challenge group, because that just doesn't even make sense, right? It doesn't make sense, because that's not what I'm always inviting to. There's other events happening. Anything else? Frankie chewed the crap out of my hand just now. Okay. Well, that's all that I have for tonight. So we're gonna do. I want to do a. If you haven't listened to the National Wake Up Call on Instagram Stories, you can listen. So good. Yeah, holla. It's so good. Yeah, it was really, really good. And so I'm kind of doing some research on my own right now. But that being said, I want to do a boomerang for my Instagram story. So when I say 3, 2, 1, you gotta like do something. You have motion.
Oh no, I'm in the dark.
Okay, don't like turn your steering wheel, Nicole. That'd be dangerous. She's like, ah!
I don't even know where I'm driving.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Oh, I know where I am.
Yay! All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, let's see. Okay, I can't. I suck. I moved my phone with it too. Like, why would I do that? Okay. Hold the phone there, Brittany. Don't move the phone. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I think that's better. Yay! That's a lot better. Okay. So listen to that National Wake Up Call. It was so good on Instagram stories, and I am testing all that out. I am actually saving all of my Instagram stories so that I can give them to you guys. I am not going to be making a marketing calendar for September because I don't think, quite honestly, that's all going to be white noise. I truly believe it. I truly believe if I give you a calendar of like, share this clean, eating recipe, it's going to be white noise. The way it's not going to be such white noise is by building curiosity with people. And a really great way to do that right now is through little snippets of your life, through stories and things like that. So I'm doing my research. You guys should also, and then help us out on the team page and share what you're learning about stories. But yeah. All right, ladies, I encourage you to get those September calendars going for added accountability. Add them to the team page, and I will chat with you guys later. Have a great night, guys.